GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling. GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling.
Hey everyone, it's GailLyn here, the Queen of Journaling on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I had a great recording session yesterday. I spoke about legacy journaling and how it is important to provide some type of insight for the generations to come, but just to have a reflection for ourselves as well, because you don't know how we can reflect on something that we write about later on, and it may be very helpful to us, or it may be very helpful for us to share with someone else. So I just love the word legacy, my new favorite word. And today we're going to talk about leaving something behind for the next generation when we journal, because that next generation, is our future. But before we get to that, under the importance of journaling series, I forgot to mention yesterday that I have my new intro. I hope everyone likes it. GailLyn Crawford.
GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling. GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling. GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling. GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling.
Silverback Monstertainment. I wanted to take a few moments to give a shout out to my friend Brad. He is the owner and operator of Silverback Monstertainment. He and I met in 2022. It was some type of social media outlet, and we became friends. We connected. We had a lot in common, and we've been following each other, supporting each other on social media ever since. So little did I know, by no coincidence, that 4 years later, I would come up with the idea to start The Importance of Journaling series here on YouTube and TikTok. And I thought, I need a catchy music beat, video beat for my YouTube channel. So I thought, he just happened one day, I think last week, to pop up in my stream. And I thought, that's right. He owns his own Monster Entertainment Silverback recording studio. He could help me. So to make a long story short, I reached out to him. He was more than happy to help me. He had my beautiful, I think what we call it is an intro, but it can be an exit also. But he created my video, my music for me within 48 hours. I was shocked. I thought, maybe I'll give him a couple of weeks. With 48 hours, I had an email, dropped the MP3 in my email box, and so here I am. So thank you so much to Silverback Monster Entertainment. If you're interested, he's reasonable. He's quick. He's just been doing it so long. I think he can do it with his eyes closed. Or reach out to him at www.silverback, and that's SILVERBACK. Silverback Beats, BEATS.com. www.silverback, but 2 Ks, SILVERBACKK, Beats, BEATS.com. I'm so excited to have that. Another thing that I'm accomplishing by no coincidence, I'm in the works of meeting with someone next week to provide better video coverage so that I don't have to keep using this phone and getting interruptions and phone calls. And I'm sure we all know that no one calls us or bothers us during the day until we start working or doing something. And here comes these phone calls. I can be sitting in the room all weekend, nobody calls. But as soon as it's through the week and I'm trying to shoot a video, everyone wants to talk to me. I guess that's no coincidence. But next on my agenda for today, I spoke yesterday about my newfound pastor, Mike McClure Jr. in Birmingham, Alabama at Rock City Church. And he inspired me to create yet another journal that was just published last Friday, February 6th, on my grandson's 9th birthday. And it's entitled Church Notes. It's Church Notes Journal, a faith-centered space for reflection and prayer. And I love the front cover. It's created by AI, of course, but you'll get a better picture of it once I get the hard copy. But I wanted to show you a couple of pages, just so you have an idea of what it's like. You know, I love my butterfly lighthouse and ladybug. And then here are a few of the note pages that you can jot your sermon notes, your scriptures, as the person that's speaking is talking. Take notes, take notes, take notes. It's very important. Here's another journal page, a note-taking page. But this one I call a reflection page, because once we hear the sermon, sometimes we want to say to ourselves, what did I get out of that? Because when someone's speaking, especially preaching, it can be 2 billion people in that area, and that word will go out and reach everyone differently. So here is another note-taking page with my lighthouse. It's important to write what we hear. It's important to write those scriptures down that the person spoke about, so we can reflect on it later. And here's my butterfly note-taking page. And I asked on this page with the butterfly, what stood out most to me today? So my new journal, Church Notes Journal, is available at Amazon.com. I have a few scripture areas to write your scriptures and take your notes. And last but not least, I have several scriptures in here, which of course you know I'm going to put Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Because that is the background, and that is what encouraged me to start writing my book 2 years ago, Walk by Faith, Trap by Sight. And of course my subtitle is I Speak Life Because We Only Get One. We only get one life, everyone. So we have to try to enjoy it as much as possible. And it's our life that we should not be letting someone else consume. It's nice to help. It's nice to be of support. But you got to take some time out for yourself as well. I've learned that over the last 60 years of life. Now, my second, or maybe it's the third topic for today. I did mention yesterday how I was invited to a magazine unveiling on last Sunday, and it was a woman empowerment engagement. And while there, we have vendors and we support each other, and we buy our books, and then we hear speeches, and we hear from our panel of of women that are, they're just, the stories they have to tell, it's unbelievable. But while I was there, I had the pleasure of purchasing a book and meeting, right here, Dr. Obiama Martin. She gave an excellent speech on our panel about her journey as a single parent after divorce. Um, Misfortunes and being in a car accident, and it was almost fatal, and how she survived, and how this lady, through everything she went through, which were distractions in life, she connected with me because I realized that she said how even though she had been in this accident, her body was in pain, she could barely sit, she continued her undergrad program. And I thought of myself the year that I started. No, I don't think I started. Yeah, maybe I started 2005. My father unfortunately passed away after a long battle with prostate cancer. And I remember him dying, passing away on March the 14th, 2005. And yet I still went to class that night. And a week later, we had the ceremony and we buried him. Beautiful ceremony because he was a 20-year Army veteran. They came out and blew the horns and gave him a salute, and they presented my mother with a beautiful flag. And that's a legacy that we will keep in our family and pass it on from generation to generation. My father, Sergeant First Class Amos George Benefield. But I continued to go to school at night. I continued to go participate in college, and my professors was like, "Wow, that's awesome." Because I remember thinking to myself, "This is what my dad would want. He would want me to not stop. I can't stop breathing. I can't stop living because he's gone. He would want me to continue so that I can pass it on to the next generation." So I was inspired by her story. She has multiple PhDs, multiple master's degrees. This woman is awesome. And yet when she spoke on the panel, she talked about how even though she may have earned well over $1 million by now in her life, she believes that she's given most of it away. And I thought to myself, that would be me. That would be me. Because I'm always, thinking about others. I tell you, she gave an awesome story. But what I am so most excited about is that she autographed my purchase book, Against All Odds. It has several ladies in here that tell their story. That's why it's such an empowering and inspiring book. And she said to Gail, thank you. Thank you to Gail. Thank you. And I was able to provide her or present her with my book as well. I said, you know what? It doesn't cost anything. I'm just giving it to you because I'm so honored to meet you. So I want you to meet my story. Let's get together. We'll talk. Maybe we can do something together later on down the line. That's what it's called, networking. We go out, we show support, we network. So I don't want to spend too much time today talking about my personal experiences and my personal no coincidence encounters, but under the importance of journaling, leaving something behind for the next generation. As the queen of journaling, your voice here is powerful. My voice here is powerful because when you're leaving something behind for the next generation, you don't just journal. You preserve a legacy, which I constantly talk about. Journaling is a living inheritance. Money can be spent, homes can be sold, jewelry can be divided. But your thoughts, wisdom, prayers, and stories, those are treasures that multiply over time. When we journal intentionally, and when they speak about intentionally, we're speaking from intent. That means everything that's worded and written down in that on that page, it's coming from our heart. It's coming from our life experience. It's coming from something we may have seen or heard. When we journal intentionally, we have a family history. So as we're writing and journaling with the intent of leaving something behind for the next generation, under family history, we would talk about who our blood relatives are so that when our grandchildren and great grandchildren um, become of age, they know who they are. They know who their family is. They know what their family background is. They know what the genetics in the family is. And this can be very helpful mentally, financially, physically, um, because, sometimes we tend to pass genetic diseases from one generation to the next, and the next generation may need to know about that. Um, Let them know on this journaling page if you've ever done Ancestry.com or any other type of gene background check resource. When we journal intentionally, we leave faith journeys. What did you request? What was your faith request? We leave lessons learned from mistakes. And what were the learning outcomes? We leave recipes. Come on, we gotta leave those recipes, those homemade biscuits, that fudge, that upside down pineapple cake. I don't think I've ever made one. We leave traditions. One of my traditions with my family is that every time we met for Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter, we had to play a game after everyone was finished eating. So we leave testimonies. A testimony is something that we want to share. We want to share what the outcome is. A testimony is something that it will let that next generation know that we've overcome something, or we had the fortune of having something, we met something, we got a new car, a new house, a new job. That's a testimony. And most importantly, we leave our voice, your inner thoughts. Your grandchildren may forget what you wore, and I think I'm gonna. I may have already done this, but back in the 80s and the 70s, we wore bell-bottom pants and afros. We had those big puffy afros, and the women would wear her hair in a mushroom, where it was just straight down and curved under. So I might have to recheck some of my journals to see if I left how our style was. But they will never forget what we write. That's most importantly. What else can you leave behind? Here are some meaningful categories. How you came to know God or whomever you serve. How did you come to know that? What kind of experience was it? What prayers that were answered for you? And scriptures that you carry. So write those scriptures down so they know where to find them or reference them. Why this matters more than now? Because we live in a digital age. Photos disappears, accounts get hacked, phones break. But a handwritten journal carries your handwriting, your personality, your corrections, and most importantly, your emotions. So it carries you. Suggestions to journals and leave behind for the next generation. The greatest lesson I learned the hard way was, if I could relive one season differently, I would. The scripture that carried me through my darkest hour was, and I love this one, I want you, my next generation, to always remember, and then tell them what you want them to always remember, something about you. The most important decision I ever made was, when you feel alone, please know. Let the next generation know what they should do when they feel alone. Because even with all this technology and all this fast-paced, moving world, we still have those that feel alone. My prayer for you is, never forget that our family beliefs are. One thing I wish someone told me sooner is, if you are reading this, it means. It means. What does it mean if they're reading your journal? Now, I know I'm almost at the end of this session because we're going. I even remember to do a little timer. So, in closing, I want to leave with you that today we're talking about something deeper than just a notebook. It's deeper than planners, it's deeper than a diary, it's deeper than writing your feelings down. Today we're talking about leaving something behind for the next generation, our generations to come. It's so important because journaling is not just about healing, it's about legacy. And legacy is not what we leave to people, it's what we leave in people. Now, that's a great catchy phrase. I think I'm going to write that one down. Journaling allows you to plant seeds in generations you may never meet. And that's the awesomeness behind the importance of journaling. So if you like my video today, please like, subscribe, follow. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I want everyone to enjoy the rest of their day. I'll see you in the next one.
GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling. GailLyn Crawford, Queen of Journaling.